Hi everyone, we are back. I am just getting my computer ready so it knows what I'm doing and I know what it's doing. And no, that's the wrong one. I'll keep going until I find the right one. There we go. So welcome back to Geeks for Craft Alive, and I hope you can join me to do this demonstration. I'm going to do the folded star trivet, which is from that template. You can see, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there it is there. I have these templates in stock at $20 each, and you're welcome to at any time let me know that you want one and I will write it down, or I will grab the trivets and write it straight on them. But one or the other. So welcome. Hi Lynn, how you going? And we'll get started. I'm going to move the camera and show you what I've got and what you need to do this project. All right, this is a really good project for charm squares. You know, when you've got charm squares you don't know what to do with, this is really good for that. I've used 2 packs of charm squares. I've got heaps left over to make another one at least, so heaps left over. The charm squares have 40 in them, and they have 10 lots of 4 different colours of each. So I've grabbed 2 so that I've got 8 of each of these little pieces. Now what you're going to need is also a 3.5 inch square for the centre. That's not quite square, I just rough cut it. You're going to need your template. I can do it without a template and just draw it yourself. It's a little bit harder, but I find that with a template or some sort of template it works a lot easier. What you're going to need to do is this is your layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, and then I've got corners. You're also going to need, I think it works out to about 8 inches square. And hi Yvonne, Naomi and Cecily. So you're going to need 8 inches of, now this is the, oh my gosh, my brain just went, oh my gosh, it's the heat resistant one, Insel Bright, sorry, that was my bad. I've also put a bit of fabric down with the layout on it, and I've drawn the layout in white pencil, chalk pencil, but I figured it's not going to really show, so what I'm going to do is show you how to do it straight onto the piece of this. So I have drawn out through my stencil the lines from the stencil. That's the beauty of it. So now I can pop that aside. Now what you do is you get glue, like a glue stick. Hi Karen. Or I'm using the wash away tape, the fusible wash away tape. You could also use something like I don't know, the bias tape, or you know, anything that helps. And I'm just going to glue that first one down there. I'm heating up that glue and it just holds it in place. It doesn't literally make it so I can lift it up and move it if I want to. It just stops it from shoving around when I'm trying to work on things. You'll need your iron mat and you'll need a dry iron. And I say dry because we're going to fold these and you don't really need steam. And what I did was, I'll just pop this over here for a second. Good morning, Pat. I got each one of these 5 inch squares. That's the beauty of them, because you need 5 inch squares. And I folded them in half, pressed, and then I got a bit of this tape because it's heat, it activates on heat as well. You know what, I just want to fold that over and just activate it a bit. There we go. Now let's stick down. Take the paper off it. Now if you don't have this, just use your glue stick, same stuff. My fingernails won't do it, there it goes. And you got that little bit of tape there. Fold that over to its level. This is the folded side, that's the open raw edge side. fold that over so you get a point there, this top end, and you make like a little triangle. Prairie points. Do you remember prairie points? G'day Pat, Heather and Jennifer. And that will hold it together a bit for you so that those flaps won't come up and annoy you. And you're going to do that to all the pieces except for that one that you've put in the center. So I'll show you again. I've got that piece there that I've already folded in half, folded edge to there. You can finger press if you want. If I heat that up a little. You're in Perth, Jennifer. And that should help that glue stay down a little. And then just take that paper off. Now this tape I have on order, it's coming. I've run out at the moment, so if you don't have any, you could always use a glue stick. Fold that over so you've got the folded side folding towards the open end, the raw edge. Press it down, and that's your prairie point, which is your folded triangle. Okay, and you're going to do that. Now you'll need your one square at 3.5 inches. You'll need 8 5-inch squares of a lighter color, a darker color, and a medium color or bright, whatever. 3 different colors there. And then for your outer corners, you're going to need 4, and I'm just going to use these darker ones for my corner. Looks a bit complicated. Can we access this again later? Yes, absolutely, Heather. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. You'll be able to go and have a look at it as many times as you want to. It isn't complicated. Once you get your head around it, it's not that bad. So here's your first square there. On here, if you lay it back over the top, it says layer 1 there. Layer 2 is up here. So you're going to miss these 2 here and go to your third one out. So you get your next color, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with this. Now I've got the folded side facing up, and I'm going to lay that on that edge there. Now if you want to, you can tape this down as well. You could put a little bit of tape underneath on here, or you could glue it down and then tape it to there, and just make sure that line runs parallel to the line you've drawn, so that fold is parallel, and just heat up that glue. How much are the templates, Jennifer? They are 20. G'day, Joan. And that'll just help stop it from moving so much. Then get your next one, and you want to go your like 1 2 3 down from the top. So there, again, turn her over. You've got the folded side facing you. Pop that tape on there, or glue. So 1 2 3. If you get a bit lost, what you do is you get your template, you pop it back over, and you have a look for layer 2, and it's this one here. So it'll show you. So all right, so that is how much of the templates? Yep, Deb, template, sure. I might just grab the pile of them. Give me a second. And that way I'll pop your name straight on one. Deb Anderson. Now the templates have a plastic cover, like a sheeting on them, stuck to them. So you've got to take that off to get that nice clear look. It's just a protective cover. So I've put the tape on, place it down, and you work your way around, and you just keep going. So the most time-consuming part of this would have to be the folding and ironing of the little things. You'd like one too, Jennifer? Sure. I find that that's something that, you know, bores me to tears, but once you've got that done, you're laughing. So make sure that line of that fold is parallel, running the way it should, and press that down. Jennifer Bowers. Template and 1 meter of the heated stuff. Louise, yep. So Jennifer, Boas and Louise Hall. Louise Hall. And I better write it down over here again, Louise. Oops, days. Oh no, here it is. And 1 metre Insulbright. Yep, got it. Heather Wallace. Yep. Heather Wallace. And Yvonne wants, oh yeah, can I have some of the heated stuff? Yep. So I better write them down. So we've got Heather Wallace and Deb Anderson. 1 metre. 1 metre. Insulbright. Yep. Bev shut for a template. Sure. I thought you guys already have them. It's all right. Bev shut. Lucky I got heaps. Done. All right. Let me get back to this. Now, working my way around. A little bit of tape. Like I say, hot glue, not hot glue. Glue will work as well. So 1, 2, 3 down. Make sure that fold runs parallel to the opposite side. Give her a heat up and keep going. I do have more of this jelly roll. What am I looking at? Charm squares. Oh dear. So make them parallel. Charm square packs. So I have this colour. I have quite a few of them, and they're $10 a pack of 40 charm squares. So if you're wanting 2 of the same, I do have this one in stock, plus others. But I might do them on sale tonight, like do a live with them tonight, so you can see what's left in stock. The only different one is the last one. So you do all the way around. You get to the, oops, took the glue off your finger. Get to the last one. Yeah. Heat it up. So with the last one, what you do is you flip that underneath one side. Otherwise, it's going to sit on both sides. You'll see in a minute. I'll show you what I mean. So the last one, if you just pop that straight on, it sort of sits over the top. You need to lift the left-hand side and then place it where it needs to be. You might have to lift up your glue a little, get it down to the spot you want, and point it in the right direction, and then heat that up, and she's good. Okay, next layer I'm going to do is, I'm thinking that one. So again, same process. I go to the next line, exact same thing, nothing's changed. Might just go along and put this on the back of each one of these. Probably should have done that off camera, but anywho, doesn't matter. You can use any fabric you want. Just remember, if it's taking heat, you don't want to use something like silk or anything like that, because of the silk won't take the heat of the pots and pans and stuff like that. If you're going to use it on the bench, if you're using it as just decoration, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I normally use just a cotton. Okay, so take that one off, and I'll start at the bottom again where I started last time, and I'm lining up that fold with the one in front of it, and I'm going to heat that up, make it stick, and go to the next one, grab that, go to the next line, which is there, pull that one in a little, a little bit far, just I'll lift that one up. It's a little bit far down for my liking. There you go. I can go now. I've cut out almost the same colour. Oh, really? I had this. Here's one I prepared earlier because it was already cut for me, which is great. Just makes life so much easier. Next one, go to the second line from the top. Line up those folds. If you're just using for decoration, can you use backing other than Instabright? Yeah, look, you could use whatever you want. You can just use wadding. I mean, you can use a couple of layers of wadding and it'll still act as a trivet. It's still going to take some of the heat. Just use something like a wool, or a cotton, but you might need a couple of layers. If you're using it for decoration, it doesn't matter. You could use poly, whatever you like. So around. Come on, don't you come. That one. I'm just lining up the folds now so that they all sort of fold in the same direction. Oops, it does. That didn't help much. There we go. So you don't have to use, you could use cotton wadding as well as Interbright and make it super duper thick. So especially if you're going to put it on a bigger table. You can keep making this bigger by just, you'll need bigger squares or bigger triangles, I should say. Oops, that last one. So you just adjust your pattern accordingly and spread out your layers. It might take a bit of practice, but... All right, so now we have those layers 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. This is layer number 4, and I'm going to use the orange. And again, place this on the back. I'll just go along and put a bit on each. I mean, you don't have to put the glue on, but I find that if you're going to take it to the machine at any time and you've got to lift this up, that could be a nightmare. Just sort of saying. I hope you're all having a nice day today. The weather's here is a bit mish, meh. Sort of 1 minute it's sunny, the next minute it's cloudy. Nothing to rave about. Alright, so first one, folded side up, go to that last line there, place it on and heat it up. I cut my lot out the old measurement, but hey, it'll work. And yes, I've used wadding with it. Yeah, absolutely. I will be as well. Adding a bit of, I've got a wool cotton wadding there I'm going to use, which will give it a little bit of extra protection for the bench. Very hot and humid. Princess and I are having a quiet day. 41 there. Ugh. No, it's crappy sort of weather here. So trying to rain but not raining and a bit cloudy, and I was wondering whether the internet was going to play nice after the other night. But anyway, it is, so I won't poke the bear. $41. Ugh. Alright. Sandra's taken the week off this week, so I'm on my own. So I've got no one to help me make kits or anything this week. Overcast and 14, is it, Jimmy? Yeah, it's not much more than that here. It's probably about 19, 20. That's really easy and fun. Yeah, it is easy and fun. Yeah, it's a great little project. It's a bit of a cut and paste one. The last one you've always got to remember, you have to flip the one before it up and have it go under. So over folding over. All right. I'm moving down there, Jimmy. Now, the last 4 I have, these go on a little bit differently. So I folded them the exact same way, but I'm not going to put the actual, I'm going to turn it, now hang on, how am I doing that? I've got to remember. I want to turn it, no, it's not that way. No, it's not that way, it's that way. No, it's not. I just went blank. Oh, you've got to turn it again. I've gone blank now. Oh, it would work for you if I was close. Yeah. Hang on. Those last 4 in the corner always get me. Let's take that glue off. Hi, Maya. I'm trying to remember how would that work. Maybe points together and flip back. Yeah, no, it's, oh, gee, I've just gone blank. I wish I had my other one here now. The ones on the corner. There's a different way of doing them. Hang on. Hang on. Bear with me. Here we go again. I've gone blank. Is Michelle having one of her moments? Oh, I know. It's alright, I've figured it out. I think. No, I haven't. No, it can't go like that. It has to be been working on the flutterbys. Oh, cool. Maybe points together and flip back. Would that work? No, I don't think so. I've gone completely blank. Pretty sure. I was pretty sure it was the same fold. Thought maybe it was another fold, but then that just leaves it sort of like that, which I'm not too sure on. Lay wrong way towards you, then flip over. I know what you mean, like that. I don't think that's the right way. I have you. Oh, you do? Yeah, you do have it. Denise, send me a photo of the edges, the corners. I'm trying to remember how they went. Yeah, I'm trying to remember now. My brain's just not functioning. And I'll just wait, see if Denise can find it and send me a quick photo. I'll just take that glue off just in case I need to. Fold into a triangle first, not in a half. Well, that's what I sort of did before. I folded into a triangle first. Oh, yes, okay, I'm with you. No, I've got it. I know. All right, so I folded point to point. Then you're going to fold that like that and that down like that. Okay, so you get that. You get a diamond shape. All right, thank you, Gidget. I had it halfway there and then I went, no, that's not right. How ridiculous. All right, so I'm just going to fold those in and heat that up. It creates like a square. Thank you, Gidget. So like that. And place those raw edges on the outside and again, heat up. glue, we want that to stick down. And you've got those corner pieces there for your layout placement. Gotcha. Nice. Still waiting for Denise to send me a photo. All right. So into a triangle. I knew I'd done it wrong after I'd done it. I thought, no, I'm imagining things. Once you've done one, you sort of, and I haven't done one again for a while. It's a bit like riding a bike. You sort of remember, but then you know you can also fall off. All right, that's the second one. Bit of glue on the back. I'll just heat up that fabric. Thank you, Gidget. You're an absolute champion. That one there, lining up those folds again, and heat that up. You've engaged all our brains today. But I apologise for that ahead of time. That was unintentional. I'm just going to hold on to that bit of glue. So let's do these last two into a triangle. That way, the glue down. It's the beauty of that glue. You can take it off and put it back on, and as soon as you heat it up, it just reactivates. The other thing too is if you wanted to, you could have that plain on the corner as well. You don't have to have it folded. I'm going to have it folded because I like the folded. Because it sort of just keeps going that way. Can I get 2 wash away tape, please? Christine, they are still on back order. I can pop your name on. I'm hoping they're not too far away. Is Kerry Lee here at the moment? Because if Kerry Lee's here, the people who are waiting for the peels, I gave them a what for the other day, and they're like, oh, sorry, and we'll send you the invoice. And they're like, good on you. So they shouldn't be too far away. I just told them I'd take my business elsewhere. Yeah, no worries, Christine. Alright, so last one. Yeah, this tape, I use this tape a lot on zipper, like a zipper tape, to hold the zippers down before I stitch them instead of basting. Works really well. Yeah, I'll write them down. Probably need a proper pen instead of a texter. That'd be easy, wouldn't it? Okay, so wash away tape and a template for G. Yep. So Christine Skeen, by 2, Louise, Paul, by 2, and Jennifer Bowers. Yep. Yeah, I've ordered about 100 of them. They're bloody brilliant. Louise and G wants one of these. Gidget wants to. Yep, done. I can't spell today. It's not happening. Brain's not acting. Can't spell. All right, so now I've got that there. I'm going to use my big Kahuna scissors. I'm just going to rough cut that. And I'm taking off all those little bits at the same time. Because I've glued it down, what size square do you start with for the triangle? So 3.5 inch. Can I get a template and 2 tapes? Marcel Campbell, sure. And Heather Wallace wants 2. So Heather, just let me get onto these questions. Wallace by 2 tapes, and Marcel Campbell. Marcel, CAMPBELL by 2. 3.5 inch square in the middle, and Marcel buy one of these, sure. MARCELLE CAMPVELL. Easy done. The templates are only 20, so that's good. 3.5 inch star in the middle. Yeah, so because I've stuck them down a bit, they don't really move. Hey, get back in there. And like if it comes off like that, sure, Christine, just sort of heat it back up again. Sometimes it just needs a reminder. The glue will do the same thing. Oops, that's plastic. The glue will do the same thing. It'll come undone. Christine, Phil, I better write it down. Christine. Yeah. Yep. Christine. Okay, done. Alright, so now I've got it like that. I'm going to grab a bit of wadding. I'm just going to pick that up, pop it on top, and again, I'm just going to rough cut around it. Not going to stress too much because I can always trim it up once it's stitched down. It's just going to make it easier if it's a bit smaller under the machine. Okay. So that's going to make it nice and thick, and it means that, you know, nothing's going to heat up and go through it. I'm going to just sit that there. Come on, baby. If they keep moving in the corners, you can always clip them. I will now, I'm going to get the back fabric, which is this, just the black. I'm going to sit that underneath. I'm just going to pop it sort of there, anywhere, it'll be in the middle, that'll do. And again, I'm just going to rough cut around it, a little bit bigger, just to allow for a bit of shrinkage. Sewing. Oops, too far up. Because like I say, once you've sewn it down, you can then just trim it to size. Well, it's a good one too, Jimmy, because you'll be able to feel where things are. Okay, you've always got the template to go back to and lay over the top and help you out. I'm just going to move this iron over here so I don't set myself on fire. Move that out of the way. I've got my walking foot on from earlier. And here we go. So I haven't changed anything. It's a straight stitch. You can do a large straight stitch. Actually might just clip those corners just to stop them from lifting. I just need a bit of space. One on either side. I might clip down here too, just to hold him for me. I don't want him jumping around while I'm under the needle. And on that flat bit there. So this will basically be quilted and stitched, and then all we're going to do is then put binding around and stitch the edge before I let it go, and then we'll put binding on, and yeah, should be ready to go. So grab the machine back over. Basically I'm going to lift up my foot, start in the corner, foot down, needle down, And I'm going to lengthen my stitch to around about 3.5, and I'm going to slow it down because I need to, it's all right while I'm going in this direction, but when I come to the other direction, get that camera over here, when I start coming towards the folds, I need to be able to, you know, stop quickly and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going in the center. You can just pull that open. Way too fast. Okay, and the idea is to line up those points the best you can. And aim for the other side. Alright, and you can see it's starting to grab those, so I want to lift up the foot and push them down. Keep your fingers out from the needle. And stitch all the way across the other side. And then cut off. Turn around the other side. Oh, I caught a little bit, but it should be right. My man, I'd love to see it, wouldn't you, Jimmy? You'll see how crooked your little points are. You think you're doing really well, and then you see how crooked they are when you're trying to sew them together. Make sure that's up. So you're basically going to sew along each of these lines all the way across. Hi Deb. Go to center and stop. Yeah, you could, absolutely, yeah. You could go to center, stop and turn around the other way. That pinch there a little bit. Yeah, I'm not really that worried about it. I'm just going to flip that over there. Alrighty. Now, sides. Yeah, it depends on how precise you want to be. I'm not really a perfectionist, so I sort of go with okay, is okay. Missed the start. No, again, that's all right. Have to keep an eye on the time because I've got a live class in the Geeks classroom. Just going to take those corners off because I don't need them there. The reason why it creased was because I had the clip on the corner of each side when I'm coming towards it, and I should have released it and I didn't. So, you know, sort of is what it is. All right, then we're going to go top and bottom again. So as I was coming towards them, I didn't take the clip off, which made it bunch up underneath. Pages, no notifications. Hi, Lois. All right, so I'm just going to shove this baby out of the way. And it is done. Now, if I wanted to, I could have corresponded, you know, some black or darker colour in the centre there. But, you know, that's fine. The way it is fine. there's a couple of little pinches there, really tiny. They're not going to show, especially once it's pressed out and stuff. It'll just do its thing. Next thing I'm going to do is just sew around the edge. So I'll bring this back over, and I'm going to lengthen the stitch so that it's around about 4.5. It's just a basting stitch, and I am about 1/8 from the edge, and it's just to hold that outside edge down while I put the binding on. Oops, a days. Grab. I'll come back and get him. Did I grab that? No, that's all good. Yeah, she's all good. So just go down the side of it. Make sure that's under. Make sure that that's not crunching up. You see this orange one keeps wanting to flip outside. I'm just about over binding and binding my log cabin. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're a big quilt normally, a log cabin. Okay, so what I normally do with these to make my life really simple, Gidget, is I normally do the binding all on the sewing machine. So again, I'm going to come along and I'm going to trim that with the cutter. So I'm going to grab that right now. Move my machine out of the way for you. Grab my blade. And ruler. Now if you have a 8-inch square or 8.5-inch square ruler that you want to use, you can do that if you want to. I'm just going to wing it. I'm sort of going, find a straight edge. I don't care if it's 8.25, I don't mind, it doesn't bother me. It's only a trivet, it's not the end of the world. And take all that excess off. Oh, I missed the back bit. Must have folded it under. Get off. Okay, I'll just clean up some of that a little. Fluff. So she's ready to go. It's quilted. See, quilted, all ready to go. And we're just going to pop the binding on. So to do the binding, I found a bit of black, and I'm just sort of going to go find a straight edge, turn it around. Actually, that's a nice long one there. I might fold that up that way and use this edge. I think this one got a bit of sun damage, but for a binding it'll be fine. I'm not too sure what's going on with that colour change. Could be just the fabric too. Alright, so I'm going to do it at 2.5 inches. So we got 1, 2.5. Now I probably will need another strip or two, little ones. just to get my length that I need. One more there. It's the way to use your scraps, isn't it? And we're going to sew these together. And I'm going to put it on the thing. No one says you cannot have colour change on binding. Yeah, absolutely. You can join together those little squares if you want to. Okay, I'm going to need that iron again in a minute, so I won't get rid of it. But I will bring over the machine. Come over, baby girl. So, this is how I do this. So I get my pieces, I normally lay them on my lap. 1, 2 and 3. I put the first one here. I just put the foot down on it to hold it. Then I get my second one and I make an L shape. So I lay it over the top and make an L shape. Okay, so first one underneath, second one on the top, and it squares off on the corner. Then I turn it sideways, and from the top left hand corner to the bottom right hand corner, I put my needle down to hold it. I aim. Oops, I need to change my stitch, otherwise it'll be too big. And I aim for that corner, and as long as you come within, you know, cooey of it, you're pretty good to go. I just want to do those first couple of stitches because I had a bigger stitch there. Then with that one that you laid over the top, flip it so it's facing right side up now, and get the next piece and make a L shape at the end of it. Top left hand corner, you turn it sideways, top left hand corner, very hard to see when it's colour on colour. Top left hand corner to bottom right hand corner, I put my fingernail there and I aim. That is how I do it. That's as technical as I get. And then I've got a mitered corners. I'll just show you this. So that's your L shape. And you see you open it up and it comes into a straight line. Most of you know how to do it, but there are some people who don't, so I thought I'd do that. I've got my big monster scissors, which I don't really need, and they're overkill, but I'm just gonna, I've been using them on wadding. I'm just gonna cut those triangles off, cut the triangles off, and she's ready to go. Get the iron. I still am not using steam. I'm still using a dry iron. I very, very rarely use steam. Very rarely. Same as you do? Good. Now, I just get that mitered bit on the back of it, and I just fold, like I just press that seam down a little, just so that it flattens out. And I just do that to all of them. It doesn't matter how long it is or whatever. And then, with wrong sides facing each other, I fold it in half, long ways. And I just run this along. I had to look at your YouTube for my binding brain wouldn't work. Has to redo as he turns it the wrong way. Yes, yes, yes. And putting a twist in it at the end too is really easy to do when you're trying to join it. So that, and that, I just fold those and iron that all the way along. Okay. Once I've got that ironed, this is where your clips will come in handy again with my new super duper clip basket that I've got there. I leave a bit at the start, depending on the size of the quilt or thing that I'm doing. It's a no fail, isn't it, Julie? I'm going to leave a fair bit. Okay, so about 4 or 5 inches, and I'm going to clip that on the right side. I'm going the wrong way because that's making me look, I'm going like facing the wrong way. Let me go the other way. Feels weird. So I put that with it, all the binding on the right hand side of me because I'm right handed, and I leave a gap. I'm going to leave a good gap. Probably it'll be maybe about 3-4 inches. Come up to the corner. Now this is where people get themselves all sort of skew-if. Some people try and go around it like that. All you do is you've got your quilt squared off in front of you. You've got that raw edge of the binding facing the front of the quilt, raw edge to the edge of the quilt, and it's running parallel to that top there where you've clipped it on. All you do is turn it upwards so it now runs, so flip it upwards so it now runs parallel to the side seam. So it creates that L shape again. Remember that L shape? You can finger press whatever you like. Okay, I have been known to also come in there and put a little white mark on that crease. So finger press it down, iron it down, whatever. Then bring it back towards that raw edge that it was parallel with and lay it across there. Okay, and clip that down. And you continue around exactly the same. This is a good one to do it with, I should say. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fold that binding strip up parallel now with the side. Okay, finger press, mark that crease, come back, fold it back on itself so the top of the fold is parallel to the left hand, like the top of the quilt or the trivet, and the side raw edge is parallel to the edge of the trivet. Then clip it. Clip in the middle, and then do the same thing. I've got the trivet with the one on my left. Flip it up. Make sure it's running parallel with that edge. If you don't have it parallel, which it's not, what happens is you get like a funny sort of shape at the top. And I'm going to fold that down. I'm just putting some finger pressing in there so I can get that down. And what you'll find is when you fold it back on itself, that side, that fold, that should all sit nice and flush with itself. Clip that again, come along here, clip that side, and the same thing again. It's just, you know, rinse, repeat type thing. All right, so make sure it's running parallel with that. And to come there. And fold it back on itself. Now, the one thing I do try and avoid, and I've got to fold here or join there, that's going to cause me a bit issue. Just going to clip, well, I'm going to mark it first and then I'm going to clip it. Oops-a-days. If you've got like a seam on a corner or anything like that, it can be really quite painful. So I'm actually going to cut that off there. And you're going to go, oh my God. I know I've got plenty because I allowed like 4 inches, so plenty there. But I'm going to cut that right there. So I've taken that seam out. Otherwise I'm going to have a seam in a seam. Okay, so that is going to alleviate a problem. Then I'm just going to lay that over the top, just like that. Just lay it over top. I can see the one underneath and I can see the one on top. Grab that piece that I cut off and lay it flush with the one underneath. Now I'm going to mark it just so you can see. Now that is where I'm going to cut the top one. Okay, is the width of the piece that I cut off. There's a reason for that. Rather than measuring 2.5 inches in that, I'm actually using the actual measurement of the fabric. So whether I cut the fabric or, you know, 1/4 inch tight or whatever, I've now alleviated that problem. I'm going to take that clip out because I need a bit of room. Open that out, so it's going to be tight because I'm right on a corner. You're going to need to fold that up. Now, sometimes I get this wrong myself, which is fine. I always double check before I sew. So if I put my fingers across there, I can see it's going to be fine. So open that top one out so the right side is facing you. This one that's on the right hand side, you need to push that quilt over or trivet over. Open it out so the right hand side, don't twist it, just open it out and lay it flat like that. So it does that L shape again. Okay, you remember that L shape we did earlier? You're going to do the same thing. So I'm just doing a bit of chicken scratch here. Now, normally I would put pins in. I don't have any handy right next to me, but I'm putting a clip there and there. I'm going to undo that corner so that it makes it easy for me. I can always come back and do that corner. And I'm going to sew from that left-hand side across to that corner there on this piece. So I'm going to quickly do that. Just move that iron out of the way. Same as I did before when I was joining the actual binding together. I'm doing the exact same seam. Alright, I know that's off camera, but I'll show you what I did. So I just sewed from that corner to that corner in that L shape. Before I cut anything, I always turn it right side out to make sure that it is in the right way. Then I cut off that little triangle. Don't cut off your cheeky triangle until you've turned it out to make sure it's in the right direction. I'm going to go back and do that corner, and because I put a mark there and a finger crease, I know that I can line that up again really easy. So I'm just going to tweak with that, give that a little bit of a play, make sure that's right. Grab my clip again. Oh, there it is. Up there. Now this here, I'm going to press that just flat. I might even tweak that a little bit more so it's nice and flat there. And she's joined, so it is ready to go. So all I'm going to do now is sew that all the way around, and I'm going to move the machine over so that you can see what I'm doing. Just move some stuff. Here it comes. Oh, it's Big Bertha. I always have to unsew and sew several times to get it right there. That's pretty normal. Pretty normal. Okay. So when I first start doing this, I don't start in a corner. I always start in the center. And I try and start where I just joined it. And most people do a 1/4 inch. I do just a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to move my needle right over. And I do a little bit more because I want the binding to be full. I don't want it to be sort of half full. Now, when you first start, you stitch in forward and back. You are definitely going to need your walking foot, okay? Now, as you come across and you come up to this first corner, remember that first corner? I've got that little white line there, so I can lay that down now. I've got that little white line there. That is where I'm going to sew to. And then I'm going to reverse and cut off. Then just release that back, pull that up nice and taut. Off, I'm right off the edge of the actual piece. Put my needle down. So I am right on the edge of that, okay? And I'm going to just sew straight down. Back stitch, do yourself a favour, back stitch. Now, theoretically speaking, all this should work in just nicely. So, everything's great in theory, as we know, with when it comes to me. Take that one out, and I can see I'm going to come up to that little white line there, stop and reverse. So it doesn't matter what my seam allowance is, as long as I do it the same all the way around, okay? Yeah, look, Heather, a lot of doing it a lot helps. If you go one stitch over that white line, it's going to give you a hard time later. Just release that stitch, okay? You'll find out later. It'll be a pain in the backside. Again, forward and back, and down we go. It's been a while since I've done a video on a binding. I think blind binding was the last one I did, which is a bit different to this. This is your traditional binding. Again, open that out so I've got that line there, that white line, or your crease, whatever one you're going to go to. I find the white line helps, or black line, whatever, because I can see it really well when it goes underneath the actual binding. When it goes underneath the foot, I can see it really well. Alright, again, that up. And there we go. It also means that if I give it a little bit more than a 1/4 inch, it means that I'm catching anything that I think might not be right up to the edge too. So it's probably about between a 1/4 and a 1/2. Alright, last corner, there's only 4. Right up to that white line, and it sticks the needle in just on that white line, reverse. Cut off. Can you please add a white marker pen to my order? Yeah, that's the sew line, not sew line, the Bowen one, love. I can pop one in yours, Deb O'Brien, sure can. It also means that if I've kept the seam the same the whole way, when it comes back to meeting up to where I started, it's going to meet without me trying to jig it. Just saying. I just have to write that Bowen pencil down. Deb O'Brien, Bowen. No worries, Abby. All right. So you can see I've got a little bit of a crease there. That's okay. It's not going to be a big deal, because once we turn her around, you won't see it. So now what you want to do, now don't be tempted to clip your corners, all right, because you don't need to. You don't need to. So turn it out. What you'll notice is if I've gone one stitch over, you sort of get this funny crease. No, I haven't. No, I think I'm right. I haven't gone over. So we're now bound. So I need to now do it this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over further than the seam that I just did, because that seam is there and that's the one I'm going to follow from the front. So I want to make sure that that is folded over further. I don't want pins in it because I don't want to run over them. So I'm putting in a few clips just through the middles. You can also use the binding tape, or the wash away tape I should say, to hold it down if you wanted to, just in case it sort of moves when you take a clip out. That's another option I have done. So I'm making sure that my folded over binding, it passes that seam. I've got fluff everywhere. Being black, me and my hair, and just fluff in general. It's everywhere. You want those little fluffy things. I think I sold them to everyone. No, I don't have one for myself. Typical. I do it every time. All right, so I've got those there. Now when it comes to the corners, all you do is put your finger in there. Whatever side it feels comfortable doing it. Don't force it to do something it doesn't want to do and makes it look funny, okay? If it doesn't want to go one way, let it go the other, because it's obviously the way of the fold of the fabric. So place one side under, the other side over, and try and get that corner to act like another mitre. If it doesn't and you go like that, who cares? Really, who cares? No one that I know. The other option is you could push the top down and then fold it in like that, but I find your chances are you're going to miss that little corner. So fold it in, under, and fold it over, and try and make that top fold there in the corner like a mitre. You might have to do a bit of tweaking there to get it to do it, but shouldn't be too hard. And just pop a clip in the corner. If you wanted to, you could put a bit of tape under there, but I think if you find that if you've got it in the corner there, you should be pretty okay. That one might fold all right too. Sometimes, like I say, it doesn't want to go one way. That one there has one stitch too far. You can see it. I'll let it play nicely. So one stitch too far will create that sort of fold there. But on a trivet, I'm not worrying about it. It's not like it's going to a show. It's not being judged. It's bound and it's done. So me happy. So that's two corners pinned. Next one, get a bit of thread. Oh, hang on. Tiny bit of thread, massive scissors. There we go. Talk about overkill. Alright, next one. It's like I say, sometimes you've got to just sort of play around with a little just to find out which way it wants to fold. Remembering to keep that fabric past the seam. There's another one and one more. All right. Now I find that machine sewn binding is never perfect. It's never the same as hand sewing it, so don't expect it to be. It's just not going to happen. But here we go. Oh gosh, what are you doing? All right, let's move this over here. Okay, still got my walking foot on. I am starting in the straight bit, not in a corner, if you'll notice. Put my foot down, and I want my needle to be right on that in the ditch, right? So needle down, and I'm going to, no, I'm not taking it off, I'm just moving it forward because it's going to want to stitch forward and back, and I don't want that in the way. And I'm just going to keep nudging it forward. I'm not taking it out. Get off me. Why is there thread on me? Until I get to the point where I've got to take it out, like now. Stitch up to there, move it right up to the corner, right up to there. Now, very steadily, with a funky corner. That's because I went one stitch too far. Don't take it out. Stitch that corner in and go all the way around. Oops, it does. And you keep going all the way around the whole thing. But like I say, it is not as neat as hand sewn. Once you've sewn it down once, you can go around a second time if you want to. It's entirely up to yourself. If you want to do a sort of decorative stitch or something, that's another option as well. Can look nice. I just find that I need to put my foot on it, hold my tongue right. Keep your finger there, or if you've got one of those finger savers, put your finger saver there so you're not putting your finger in the way. I'm now crossed over on the actual binding then, but it doesn't matter. I am listening to the machine talking. Are you? So, all the way up to that corner, your finger saver out. I've got long nails and I've got a good foot on it. I'm not going to run over my finger on that one. Just going to put the needle up. I've gone a little bit too far over, and I'm just going to wiggle that, needle down. And off we go again. Button home stitch is, oh, it's very good, isn't it? Stop and start really quickly. Because with your foot pedal, there's actually a delay in the time, and it's a split-second delay. But there is a delay in the time from the time you lift your foot, well, from your brain to your foot, and then the foot to the machine. There's that split second. And sometimes that split second is the buttonhole stitch is very, oh, buttonhole stitch. I thought you were talking about the stop-start button. Yeah, buttonhole stitch is another good one. I find that using a stop-start stitch button on the machine I was just talking about is really handy with this, because I can stop and start really quickly. Okay, I'm going to go past the stitching that I started with and reverse stitch there and cut off. Oops, dropped one. Where'd it go? There. All right. Lift up. We are done. And my binding is all stitched down. So this is what I mean about it not being as nice, because you've got that sort of flange sort of look to it. But I have caught all the way around, which is the most important thing. I've caught the corners, and it's ready to be used, you know. Done. There's your star trivet. Haven't you, Jimmy? Well, you probably need your hands to be feeling more, so it might not work so well for you, love. But there you go. So there you are. There's your star trivet. Okay. It is very nice, and you can see here, you can see that, you know, you get that thing. If you wanted to, you could, like I say, you could go around a second time, but you're not going to catch all of it because, you know, some parts are thicker than others. I just used a wool cotton, and I also used the Insel Bright, which is that one that is heat resistant, that sort of one with the silvery stuff in it. Yeah, so that works really well. So that gave me plenty of support and plenty of insulation. Massive scissors for my small jobs. So there you go. So I've got a live in about 20 minutes with Gix, so I'm going to head off. Worst is I get sewn up. Yeah, you don't. Well, you very well could get sewn up. So this little video will be on YouTube with all my mistakes in it, and you'll be able to stop and have a look at any time you like, and make your own. So I do have the stencils still available, and with the video you should be able to step through it. The first one is 3.5-inch square, the rest of them are 5-inch squares. The size full on is the full size is 8-inch square. So pretty easy to work out the measurements that you need. All right. If I wanted to, I could have also made a couple of these to go in here as well, and that would have, I could have created, like, I'll show you, like a little one like that in there as well. That's another way of, you know, you can do that, but I didn't want to do that, so you don't have to. But yeah, sort of creates a cross with a star. I like that too. Okay, but yeah, if you want to get more of a star, pop the extra one in there, and it's exactly the same as you did with this. So you fold half, 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 and it would go face down on the outside like that. Okay, there you go. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you on at Geeks. It is nice, yeah. There's so many ways you can do them. I mean, you can do, did you get my template order? Christine Burfett of 2, and can I have some Instant Bright wadding, please? Christine Burfett, order of 2, my template order of 2. So did you want 2 of the same template, Christine? Instant Bright wadding, so a metre of the Instant Bright, yep. Christine, did you order that today, Christine? Oh, wrong one. Just making sure I've got everyone's orders too. Yeah, I've got that one. Okay, I think I've got everyone's. All right, so so you want 2 templates and a metre of Insel Bright, Christine Burfett. Just confirm that for me, love. Yes, I saw order 2 templates. Okay, thanks, Pat. All right, beautiful. I'll pop your name on 2 of them, love. I didn't see that earlier. I will do it now. Yes, I did order today. Okay, thanks, doll. All right, so Christine, B-U-R-F-I-T-T, C-H-R-I-S-T. Perfect. Done deal, darling. I've popped your name on them. Easy. Alrighty. So we'll see you guys at about 2:30 in the classroom. I think it's classroom 1. And then at 4 o'clock we'll be back because I've got sales. I've got fabric, $10 a metre. Sure, Sally. Done. $20 for that template too, love, just so you guys know. Hopefully I've got everyone's template orders. If you don't see it when I do the invoicing, you know I haven't seen it. Yeah, we'll be back soon. So I'm doing the first part of this little bag, so I'll show you how to do that. Okay. You can have it as a pouch or a bag, either way. You'll see at the end. All right. See you guys. Bye.